What are some things that property investors should look for in an investment property?
First of all, I really like for us to take a look at the location. We also want to look at the overall condition of the property. We also are going to want to check covenants and restrictions because oftentimes there's, restrictions on how long the lease has to be. It might be 6 months, might be a year. And one of the other things that we've really been looking at recently is areas of the county and the 4 counties that we cover, areas that rent quickly, really popular areas that are desirable areas, say in close proximity to certain schools, the beaches, the university. There's little pockets that rent consistently well. So I really want to take a look-see at the condition of the property and where it's located.
What's the typical house that rents really well? What size is it? What features does it have? Maybe even what are some of the features that people might think the house should have but doesn't really need to have?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Brad, because we're getting a lot of people that are looking for investment properties right now. We love a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. A garage is really awesome. Some of the other features, and I'm mentioning single family because we're finding right now single family tends to rent 3 times faster than some of the other things like condos and townhomes. Ever since COVID has come around, people want that additional outdoor space, like a patio or a fenced-in yard. A 4th bedroom really adds value to a rental property now that so many people are working from home or they want that additional flex space. Even a room at the top of the stairs that adjoins all the other bedrooms, that's really, really helpful.
And what's the best way maybe for somebody who is a property investor who doesn't live in the Wilmington area? What's the best way for them to get started? Should they contact you first? Should they contact a realtor first?
A lot of them now, it's wonderful. They're contacting me first. And we talk about some specific areas, some specific zip codes. They may even come to me with a couple of addresses they're interested in. I'll ask them if they're working with an agent because right now with inventory so low for sales, you do need to work with an agent in order to find the right property. And once we connect them with an agent, I'll work side by side with the agent, reviewing all of the properties that the agent finds on the MLS, giving them rental rates, talking about what's great about the property, what's not great about the property, so that they can make a fully educated decision on their investment.
How do you help an owner of a new property figure out what needs to be upgraded, what doesn't need to be upgraded, what should they do with the house, and how do you walk them through that?
Yeah, when we look at the property, some things are more important than others. I've had a couple of owners recently that maybe have gone and redone a property and it looks great, but it was things they didn't have to do. You really want to make sure that the property is rent ready for somebody to move in. You get a better tenant that way, you get more rent that way. So it needs to be super clean. It's great if bathrooms and kitchens are updated, but it's not a deal breaker. We don't have to have a washer and dryer. That's another thing, but we do need a refrigerator. And some of the other things that we've told them to is, a good coat of paint can go a really long way, and new flooring is very, very helpful, as well as it can end up being an operating expense on the back end for tax purposes.
Yeah, that's good. What parts of town are renting the best right now? Where are you seeing the most demand?
Yeah. The Pine Valley area rents really, really well. Ogden, super well. Anything in 28411 is renting consistently well. Midtown in 28403 rents well. Anything kind of near on the way to Carolina Beach, some of those subdivisions on the right, some of the things that have amenities rent well. Sometimes I can't always calculate an exact figure, but sometimes you can get, $200 more a month rent for the fact that they have a pool and tennis courts and a clubhouse. So I think it's really important that you look at the whole package. Downtown, there's a couple of areas. If you're within walking distance of Front Street, those properties rent really well too. So I think you just have to look at each area and take in the whole block, take in the whole neighborhood, take in what's next door, and make sure all those properties are looking their best as well so you can get maximum rent.